before I got disconnected. TP-Link AX3000, simple router. I just have it plugged into power. The button that you're going to focus on is the WPS Wi-Fi button right there, right? So you plug it into power, you let it sit for about, about a good minute or so, and you go over to your computer. I have a couple computers now here. From your computer, you're going to go down to the taskbar at the bottom. You're going to pull up your Wi-Fi. You're going to want to connect to it. If it's straight out of the box, it's still going to be called TP-Link. I renamed mine. I'm going to show you how to do that. So once you connect to that network, right, you're going to hit connect, and then you're going to go back to your router, hit the Wi-Fi button. That way it auto connects to that router. Then you'll see it indicating that it's connected. It'll say no internet. And that's basically all you do to connect your router. From there, I'm going to zoom back a little. You're going to want to open a web browser. I always recommend the Google web browser. It seems to be real easy to work with. I know people like to use Edge or Microsoft or Internet Explorer, I'm sorry. But I think Edge is a pretty user-friendly browser. Firefox is another one. So once you connect to your router, right, and this computer now that I'm actually using as demo, I don't have an internet connection. So if I were to go to Google right now, you're going to see an error of some sort. Or let's go to ESPN because that's something that I don't have access to right now. And it's, as you can see, that little wheel still spinning. I don't have an active connection. Right now it's going to time out. And you're going to see kind of an error, right? Just because I want to illustrate that I'm connected to my router via Wi-Fi, but there's no active internet connection, okay? What I want to show you guys, as you can see, is an error that just popped up. What I want to show you guys now is once you're connected to the router via Wi-Fi, you're going to enter a manual IP address. It should be in the instruction book that I came with, right? Or it's going to be actually... It's going to be TP-Link Wi-Fi.net. That's what you're going to go ahead and type in your address bar. Once you type that in, it should take you to your TP-Link router home setup. If you don't have a password for your router, this is where you want to set a password. It's important that you set a password. So this is not the network password. What this password is, it's going to prevent people from logging into your router if you're at an event and you have something very generic. Some savvy people can log into your router and kind of mess with the settings back there. You don't want to do that. So you're going to program a password that you're going to remember. More than likely, you're not going to use it unless you have to set up, reset up some settings in the back end. But just this password is different from your Wi-Fi password for Wi-Fi. So in this case, I believe, let me see. I'm going to see if I can remember what my password is actually. Mine's actually auto-saved, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click login. When you create your password, it'll let you log in, right? So this is the setup for your router. A lot of people get intimidated, right, with this. And I recommend that if you're going to be using SCANPIX 2.0, go through these necessary steps because this is what's going to really not only help you brand yourself, but also I think if you go through these steps, you'll have little to no issues moving forward. So what you want to do is right up top here, you're going to toggle over to where it says advanced, right? And you're going to be able to see your wireless network. Right now, my wireless network is called centralcalphotobooth.com. That's the 2.4 gigahertz. The 5 gigahertz is, I left it at TP-Link. Typically, you would want to change them, but I'm only interested in changing to the 2.4 gigahertz. Why? Because the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi band, it works for longer distances. The 5 gigahertz band is meant for shorter distances, but the speeds are a little faster. I'd rather prefer the 2.4 than the 5 for this. you can mess with it if you want and change them both, right? To be something that you want to name your router. In my case, I'm just doing the 2.4, right? So it's telling you what your network name is, and it's going to tell you some of the specifics of your router. I'm just pointing that out. You don't have to make any changes here, but if you go to your left here, you're going to want to toggle down to this fourth option called wireless. You're going to click on wireless, and you're going to click on wireless settings. Once you click on wireless settings, you're going to see an option that appears here. Leave Smart Connect, leave it off. The rest of the items here, you can leave them standard. You can leave enable wireless radio. But right here where it says network name, I would change the name out of your, it should say, if it's out of the box, it should say TP-Link _, and then it should say some numbers, right? I want to avoid, or I want to encourage you guys to avoid using special characters. Avoid using backslashes, underscores, pound signs. Try to keep it consistent. So for this example, I named my network centralcalphotobooth.com. But if you pay attention to the way I did it, my capital, I used the capital C, capital P, capital B. That's very important. So if you want to do something very easy, just keep everything lowercase. Put your business name, but just keep it all lowercase. I did this just because I think I like the way it looks for me. It's more of an aesthetics type of thing for me. But if you're going to rename your network name, do it either in all capitals or do it with all lower cases. Try to avoid to do what I did here. I just kind of did this because I'm kind of I already know how it works. So to avoid issues, name your network something with all lowercase letters. Don't use special characters, okay? And if you look at security, it's going to say WPA, WPA2. That's already set by default. It actually says they're recommended. Version is auto, encryption is auto. The only other thing you're going to change is the password. My password is easy because I don't want to forget it. Plus, this router doesn't have anything important that they need to log into, right? So if you're at an event, my password is enter1234. I'm not worried about them logging into my computers. I only use this router for this. It's not going to have any important information other than whatever I use for Touchpix, right? Once you rename your router name up here using all lowercase letters and no special characters, you're going to just put a simple password. You could actually even use this password, 123, enter 1234, all lowercase. Something real easy, right? As soon as you're done, you're going to hit save. And that's basically all you're going to do. Once you hit save, your router's probably going to reboot. You're going to want to wait maybe another minute, right? Because it's saving the configurations. And you're basically done, right? You're basically done with setting up your router from the computer. So the other important thing here is now I'm going to show you how to do a couple things. I'm going to pull up my QR code because I don't think I have my QR codes ready.
And for clarity, DJ, you just have to do that one time.
One time. That's
save.
It.
Yeah,
and
but that's one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. One time it saves it, and from now on, all you need to do is take your router with you and plug it into a power outlet, and you're good to go, right? So let me show you how I do it with my iPhone. So I'll also turn on my iPad here. Okay. So what I'm going to do here now is I have both my iPhone and my iPad here, right? So I'm going to go into Touchpix from my iPhone. I think this is actually a test event. I'm going to actually load up a real event. Give me a second here. Okay, that's a real event. So you'll see my iPhone there. I haven't loaded the sharing station on my iPad, right? So what I want to do is hit activate event from my iPad. And this is going to be a sharing station. I'm going to click sharing station. It's going to want to scan the QR code. Let me find the QR code. There it is. It recognized the event. It's setting up the event. Try to keep everything in frame, right? So now what I'm going to do is set up the web server, right? The SCANPIX from your iPad. You do this from your sharing station, okay? So the following information that I'm about to explain, you don't do it from your iPhone or whatever's controlling your GoPro. You do it from the actual sharing station. So you're going to want to hit that hamburger icon. And in this case, let me see. Okay, so that changed a little bit. Let me revert back. This is what I'm going to do. Instead of, I think we're going to revert back to the old way. For those of you that remembered on how to do a sharing station, right? So instead of hitting sharing station, I'm just going to hit activate a QR code. I'm not going to do it as a sharing station. I'm going to activate the same QR code for the purposes of this video. So that looks like it might have changed today. I wasn't aware of that. So scan the same QR code that you scanned for your event, right? Once it loads up on your sharing station iPad, what you're going to want to do is now click the hamburger button, and you're going to want to go into settings, right? Once you go into settings, you're going to toggle to the right with the arrow, right? There's the arrow up here. You're going to toggle, make sure printer is off, right? And toggle to the area that indicates web server, right? As you can see, it says web server, and then there's some red font there that says web server is not running, and there's a toggle button to the off position, okay? Where it says activate photo limit and it's toggled on. What that means that, you know, some people don't like to share their entire web gallery. So if you're one of those persons that you might have gotten hired and your client doesn't want you to share the entire web gallery, if you toggle that second one on, right underneath there it says 4, it means it's going to show the most recent 4 videos moving forward. If I were to toggle the second option off, it's going to show the entire web gallery. That's what it does. So, you know, for the purposes of this quick little tutorial, I'm going to leave it off. That way you can see the web gallery. And the way SCANPIX works is just a quick little form. You do this one time as well, right? You put your business name. I'm going to just indicate it's XYZ photos or something like that real quick. You put your business name. You can put your web address. You can put your contact number. I'll just put something generic, 555-555-5555. You can put your web address, right? You can put touchpix.com. I'm putting my web address or Touchpix's web address, but this is how you can put your information, because at the end, you're going to see how the customer or the client can save your information onto their phone contact as well. Organization, you could leave it blank, right? This is the important part right here where it says Wi-Fi name. And this is why I said earlier, why it's so important. If you guys remember on my computer screen, I indicated that I use capital letters for my C's, my P, and my B. It needs to match. If I were to just put centralcalphotobooth.com without paying attention to the uppercase or lowercase, it's not going to work. So that's why it's important. And I always recommend that if you're going to change your network name, do it with something with all lower cases and no special characters. So just to follow along, the way I did it, it went Central, capital C again, Cal, capital P, photo, capital B, booth.com, right? And my password is going to be super easy, all lowercase, enter, oh, wrong area, enter, make sure you spell it right too, enter, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my password, right? Once you're done, right, I leave it on the default WPA because that's the router, that's the generic router setting, security setting by default if you have the TP-Link AX3000. And then you're going to hit generate QR code, and it's going to give you one QR code, right? Once you've typed in your information, now you're going to go all the way to the top. You're going to scroll up, and you're going to hit, before you hit activate web server, which you want to make sure before you do this, right? I'm not going to hit activate web server yet because there's one step that I overlooked, but I'm going to do it now. I'm going to go into the regular settings of my iPad. And right now it's actually connected to my internet. It's not connected to the router. You want to make sure it's connected to the router. So here's my network with no internet, centralcalphotoBooth.com. It's connecting. And it's already connected, right? So I'm going to go back into Touchpix. Now I'm going to hit activate web server because I'm sure that it's already connected to the router. So I'm going to go up here and click on activate web server. And it says, it turns green. It says web server is running. So at this point, what you do is you just go back, right? And you set up your sharing station normally, right? So what I mean by that is now you're going to go over to gallery. You're going to click on the S, turn that into a receiver. You're going to go over to your iPhone, click on gallery, turn the S into a sender. You're going to see your name of your iPad pop up. Let's try this again. I don't know why it was hanging there. I'm going to open up the app again, or let me hard close it just to make sure. Sorry.
While you're processing it, DJ Duke, I have a question, if that's
Sure.
okay. So if you connect your gallery to your control device for the SCANPIX iPad, can you also have a second gallery connected to another iPad just for a regular gallery? So can you connect it twice? Is what I'm asking, I guess.
Yeah, so run that by me one more time. I don't think I understood the question.
So if you have two iPads and you use one for SCANPIX, and you connected the control device, the sender to the receiver, and then you have a second device that you just want to be the regular sharing station. Can you do that?
Well, this is the beauty of this. Like, you see the QR codes that pop up on this? Well, this is already SCANPIX. So the beauty of this is just a screensaver. So if I were to tap on the screen, you get your sharing station still, right? If I tap on these videos that just popped over, you can still share off of these, right? Now, mind you, they don't have internet, but if I were to hit the text message icon and send myself a text message, right? It's still gonna queue it up. So whenever you do have internet connection, it's still gonna send out, right? So it gives you the ability to share it, whether you want to use SCANPIX or if you just want to use regular AirDrop, right? Or you want to just use the text messaging, but just know that they're not going to get it until they have an active connection, right? So let's see if it works. As you can see, I have a couple of videos in there that transferred over. If you look at the gallery from my iPhone, you see two videos there. You see two videos there. Just so I can do a live demo, I'm actually going to record an extra video here. So let's record something real quick. Right? Let's record the computer screen. So it's doing its thing, and it looks like I had some type of animated overlay on. So again, those take a little while to process, so a couple seconds extra. So let's see if it syncs the file over, and then we're going to look for that file with my other phone. We're going to do a live demo to see how it works. adding audio, as you can see. And there's that video playback there. So I'm just going to click on next. And I'm tapping on the screen real quick just to see if that video made it over. So there's 2 videos now. You should see that video pop in within hopefully the next 5 seconds or so. Should be transferring over very soon. And these are, yeah, there it is. These are 36-second videos. As you can see, I'm going to do a quick playback real quick. That's the recording I just did. Okay, so now I'm going to do a live test to see if SCANPIX works, right? I'm going to grab my other phone. Sorry, I got a lot of phones here. Trying to do everything with one hand. I'm hoping I can show you guys the process on that. I'm going to click done. Okay, so there's your QR codes, right? Let me grab my phone real quick. Sorry, I'm getting some text messages coming in. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here's my phone. I'm going to scan that first QR code. You see, and then you click on Join Network. It's asking you if it's going to join that Central Cal Photo Booth network. I'm going to hit Join. You wait a couple of seconds, right? Because you want to make sure that the connection is established. After a few seconds, now you're going to scan the second QR code. And you should see my video. You see how fast these videos load? And there's only 3 videos, right? And this is, again, this is without internet. So this is great for people that are going to want to save money, not having to use a hotspot, because that's an extra fee. And look how fast I could download this content. So it says tap to download. I'm going to click download. Look, it says download. I'm going to click download. And you see the little arrow right underneath my phone there that it's downloading next to the double A's. I'm going to, right when it's downloaded, what I do is just click on that download button there. Click on download. It's a couple of steps, yes, but it's an iPhone thing. There's my video right in here. I'm going to click on it. And now I could play it back or save it onto my camera roll. To save it onto your camera roll, you have to actually click this single arrow down here. And you hit Save Video. And it saves it onto your camera roll. If you see this warning that says, you know, your phone's trying to either connect to, it's trying to connect to this network, but it's recognizing that it doesn't have an internet connection. You see this error on your phones because it's telling you that that connection doesn't have internet, right? But it's fine because that's what we wanted to do. But it's telling you if you want to stay on that network or you want to use your cellular data. If you hit cellular data, you're going to lose the connection. So I keep it on Wi-Fi. And now I save the video, and there's my video. And this is really fast, right? So I'll do one more quick sample, that way you guys can see, you know, how it works again. So I'm gonna do one more quick sample of this. I'm gonna see if I can spin my chair around real quick. So it's 3, 2, 1. So now I'm recording. Let it do its thing. It's adding the audio, meaning that the file's already processed. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Again, I'm still here at the screensaver portion. I'm going to tap on it. There's 3 videos. We're waiting for that 4th video to pop in. Right. These videos, as you can see, they're 36 seconds long. So obviously, if the videos are longer or shorter, the transfer is going to really depend on that. There it is. There's your fourth video. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick playback for you guys. Right. Again, you can share it here, right? If I were to hit text message, I can still queue it. They're going to add to the queue, then I'm going to hit done, right? Now I'm going to grab this phone again. I don't have to scan this QR code no more because I'm still logged in. So I'll just go ahead and scan the second QR code. And there's that video loaded extremely quick. I'm going to go ahead and download it. You're going to see it. Hit download. You see that little arrow that I'm talking about right there? That's the download arrow. It's downloading the content onto your phone. Let me try to focus on that. There it is. Then I'm going to click on that little arrow there. Click on downloads. So now I have two videos there. Play it back. Remember, click on the video. You see this upside down or this arrow pointing up. You're going to click on that and then save it to your camera roll. Save video. So now if I go over to my camera roll, let me back out of there because that's my QR code. My videos are down here. Right? You guys have any questions with that? It's fairly easy, right? Or did some of you get confused with that? I think the initial setup can be a little confusing when you first do it, but I think if you follow these steps, you know, there's no way you can go wrong. And I think this video was kind of needed because a lot of people had questions regarding SCANPIX, and it's a lot to cover. Like I wish I can cover this during the live webinar, but you know, considering that I give a lot of information in the live webinar, I think it'll intimidate a lot of people if I put it all together.
Okay, so DJ, I've been doing SCANPIX since the update and the online sync. So my question is what I asked last night, and I emailed you, but since you was giving one today, I just thought I'd hang on and.
Oh, okay, cool.
So when you're doing two iPads, two sharing stations, I'm sorry, how do you link them together? How do you link them to your iPhone? Because one says sync is not, you don't have a connection, and the other one is sync fine.
So yeah, if you're using SCANPIX, the online sync is not going to work because online sync is only if you're using multiple iPads with an active internet connection, right? Yes. SCANPIX, you're introducing non-internet to the equation. So there's no way your second iPad can sync, right? Because it is actually depending on an internet connection. You know, you can actually run SCANPIX with internet if you're a little bit more savvy. This is more of an advanced user type of tip that I'm about to share. Like if you want to run SCANPIX with internet, you can do the exact same steps, right? Mm-hmm. The only difference that you will need is if you look at the back of the router here, you have port 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mm-hmm. I don't have one with me, but there's a mobile hotspot, right? And I have one looking around my room. Yeah, I don't think it's here. I have a mobile hotspot that is a USB-C mobile hotspot, right? You can buy a USB-C mobile hotspot. It's similar to this here. This is for an iPad here that has a Lightning to Ethernet. What you want for your mobile hotspot that is a USB-C is a USB-C connection there with Ethernet, and the Ethernet you can plug it into any of these 1 through 4 ports, and now SCANPIX will work with internet as well. And now you have more of a chance to get your online sync on multiple sharing stations to work because they need to be all part of that same network.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense for you.
Yes, it does. Okay.
Perfect, man.
Thank you.
What about the ladies that are on the call? Was this a little too much? What do you guys think? Just any tips or suggestions? I know it's a lot, but this here is geared for people who have issues with sharing. We're trying to just implement numerous different ways of you to get your content out. So that's why we have AirDrop, we have text, we have email. We created sharing stations. We created Apple TV QRs. We created a live QR. This is just something that you can add to your tube belt. Do you absolutely need it to run Touchpix? No. This just gives you an extra point of advantage to be successful in running your events.
This was very helpful. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I pretty much hopped on here because I haven't actually really started yet. But I figured you were on tonight. I'm gonna peek in and see what's going on. But this is kind of over my head right this moment. But
yeah,
I'm still watching it. Yeah, I wanted to watch it.
So. No worries. And I'm recording this in case once you feel more comfortable and you want to take a stab at this. Mm-hmm. This will be up. This will be uploaded, and I'll post it up on one of the YouTube channels to make sure that people.
No, can I get any sharing station? I mean, not sharing station, on iPad. I mean, is there a particular kind that I need? Because I just invested in the iPhones.
You can use any of the newer iPads.
Okay, the newer one. Mm-hmm.
Anything from 2018 and up, you should be good. Anything. It doesn't have to be the most expensive one. It can be the iPad. The regular iPads. And I'm sure Black Friday will probably have those for around $249 or $299 or something like that. Okay. That's typically the Black Friday special.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And what I was going to say was this was very helpful because I've been a SCANPIX user, but I was very interested in opting out of having to use the laptop and using the iPad. And you answered my question about having the two sharing stations if you're using one for SCANPIX. So that answered that's not a thing. And if I'm using the SCANPIX sharing station and say someone just wants to text it to themselves, when I send out the queue and everything later, will they still get that text message?
Yeah, so check this out. So right now, as you can see, that's a great question, Tia. I've seen your posts and I think you're one of the persons too that's very knowledgeable. I think I think there's several of you guys. I know Piper, I think, has probably been asking some questions, but it sounds like he knows the inner workings. But I think Touchpix is kind of new to a lot of people, right? This is a new software. It hasn't been out that long. And the more you know, I think the better it's going to be for you and your business, right? But to answer your questions was regarding the queues. As I went through this demo earlier today, I indicated that, this iPad's not connected to the internet. And I'm going to prove that to you real quick again. I'm going to just exit real quick. And I'm going to go here to the settings. And I'm going to click on queue. And if you notice, on my queue, I have 4 pending, 2 SMSs. 4 pending, meaning that I have 4 videos that I haven't uploaded onto my gallery. And I did input 2 phone numbers there, right? So those are pending. So now what I'm going to do for my iPad, I'm just going to connect it to the internet. I'm going to go into my internet network, right? Let me see here. Which one am I going to use? Oops, that's not the one. Okay, here we go. It's logged in. So now what I'm going to go do is open up Touchpix again, go into the queue, and I'm hoping that they're either going to send out or they're already sent out. So let's wait a couple seconds. I might have to hit send out queue. It says status stop. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit re-upload files, or let's start with send out queue. And as you can see, the status is saying sending files, SMS still pending, uploading photos, and you should see everything start sending out. Web gallery has already gone through. Now I'm going to click on send out SMS because I got 2 still there, right? We'll just give it a second here. It sent out the first one. And it should start sending them out. If you see some grays or some reds like this, and this doesn't work, one quick thing that you may need to do is just refresh the app. So let's exit out of there. Let's open up Touchpix again. Now let's go back into the queue system. And you see the queue spinning now, which is great. The only time you should see a red, and you might see a red on occasion once you're at your events. Reds just sometimes mean that it didn't send out, but sometimes it happens because some people punch in the wrong number. So if that number doesn't exist, or it just, you shouldn't see like 20 of them. You should probably see maybe 2, 3, or 4, because, during an event of maybe 60, 80 videos, you will get maybe 1 or 2 that are red, because people sometimes go up to your sharing station and then they just start punching in numbers, and sometimes they're the incorrect numbers. But
especially when open bars are involved.
No, people are in a hurry, and the people, you would like for them to take their time and stuff like that, but in reality they don't. So, you should see greens. Everything's turning green now. You can see us sending everything out. So just be patient with that. A lot of people just say, hey, my stuff didn't send out. I'm not asking you to, do something major. Like, at the very worst, if you, or, you experience that little hiccup I did earlier today, like right now, just close the app and open it. We're not asking to delete the app. We're not asking for any of that. Just a simple close, because, I had Touchpix running, right? And then I switched networks and it was still running. So it might have not captured that switch. So it's always good to just close it out, open it. The queue will still be there, right? And once it starts sending out, it'll send out. And plus, I didn't wait as long as I'm waiting now, so it probably would have worked. But, just kind of trying to equip you guys with the right tools on how to kind of figure things out yourself. This is something I rarely use this. Typically when I've used SCANPIX, and I'm going to use it again this Saturday, most of my stuff gets delivered. I don't have to have people store anything in the queue. So, this is kind of a new experience and stuff like that. And as you can see, my phones, I've already received the text messages. They're just coming in now because it cleared the queue. So just kind of showing you guys that, even if you really want to make sure that the information gets shared, you can always tap on your iPad and have your guest type in your phone numbers, and that way you have an instant delivery or deliver it twice. Whatever you feel comfortable, whatever your workflow looks like, I would encourage you guys to do it, in a way that you guys feel real comfortable performing your jobs out there. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. That's really not much to the sharing station or the SCANPIX. SCANPIX used to be a lot more difficult with an iPad. Now it's super easy because it's built into the app. I think we're the first app out there that is able to do something like this with just a router and an iPad. So now moving forward, just to kind of throw in some closing comments on this specific setup, moving forward, all you got to do is unplug your router, take that with you anywhere you go, plug it into power, come back to your iPad, say this is an event. The next day, come back to your iPad, open up SCANPIX, right? The first thing you do, again, just to make sure everything runs properly, is go to your settings, make sure your Wi-Fi is actually connected to your router first, right? Once once it's connected to the router, then go back and go into Touchpix. From Touchpix, go into the menu, settings, toggle over to the web server. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. Once you're at the web server part, it has the information already there, your router information, everything. hit generate QR code, go up here and click on activate web server, go back. And now we're going to activate this as a receiver. We're just going to make sure it's synced up. Go to your iPhone, activate it as a sender. Says success, we're good. Exit out of there. So the last part I wanted to show you real quick is the contact information. I don't think we've covered that. I don't even think anybody's covered that in the group. So I think it's a pretty cool little add-on that we've added there. I'm going to see if my phone's still connected to the Wi-Fi. I'm going to just scan the second QR code here. It's taking me over to Touchpix. It's still there. So if you guys can pay attention to this top area right here where it says we are XYZ 360, that's what I filled out in that form that my company name was called, right? If I were to click on this, it gives you the website that you've actually filled out in there, the phone number you've actually filled out in there, and your guest can actually just store your number on the spot. So it's like a digital business card, right? So in case one of your guests thinks, hey, that guy had a cool 360, I can't remember what that company was, that's how you can get your information onto their phone. That way, if they're ever throwing a party or if they're ever throwing an event and they want a similar experience, guess what? You just put yourself in a situation where you're able to take that booking because you're providing your contact information to that specific guest. That's a pretty cool feature. You guys have any other questions regarding this setup?
No, I'm good, DJ. I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for joining me today. I will be on support calls tomorrow. If you guys have any follow-up issues or need some help, if you guys are out in events, feel free to just give us a call on the support line. We're here to help you guys, man. At the end of the day, we want you guys to be successful. Of course, we want you to keep using our software, but we also want you to be successful. This is why we offer all these free trainings. We want to equip you with the right tools and the right workarounds when they're needed. And yeah, it's up to you to go out there and execute, practice. You guys can be very successful at this. Don't sell yourself short. Keep pushing. And every event should be a sample event for you guys to improve upon. So, your next event should always be better than the one from before. So feel free to reach out to anybody on the group. Charles and I have been busy with emails and calls and stuff like that, but, our support team has been growing tremendously. So, just give us a quick call if you guys are in need, and we'll do the best we can do, be able to be helpful and keep you guys rolling out there.
Thank
Be
you.
great, my friend. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good evening.
Hey, likewise. Have a good evening, okay?
Take care.
Guys. Okay.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.